What's up, Facebook family and friends? It's your girl Ivy here with the Dave and Ivy TV show. Here bringing you episode number two of How to Be an Effective Parent Teacher. Episode 2 will reveal some tips and topics on reading with your child, reading with them, reading to them. That is the topic of today's episode. Read to your child. Last week we talked about talking with your child, and we talked about how talking with your child really helps them develop vocabulary. Well, I have been reading research that I'm going to reveal to you that will share how reading with them will help them develop other vocabulary that's not typical in your conversation, not conversational language, but literary language. So it's so important, and we're going to be talking about that. But before we start, here is today's quote of the day. The quote for today is, "Reading is to your mind what exercise is to your body." What do you think about that quote? You know, when I do the quotes, of course, I go to Google, I research different statements that reflect how I feel about this topic or what I want this topic to portray to people. And I always come across so many different quotes. I always pick the one that I think resonates with not only myself, but will also resonate with parents and grandparents and teachers, everyone who is reading to their child or a child. It might not be your child, it might just be a child. Maybe you volunteer at a library to read to children. Maybe you volunteer at a school to read to children. So it's to that person. As I reflect on reading with your child, what comes to mind is the curriculum in pre-K. It came to mind also with talking to your child. But what we did with the pre-K curriculum in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in Hamilton County School District, and I loved it. This is a plug for the pre-K program, is the curriculum that we used, I believe, Our World, the World of Reading. I'm so sorry. I'll find that out though. But the curriculum picked a story a week. One story every week. One story. And what I would do as the teacher is I would read that story every day. Every single day. And each day, of course, in the curriculum, it gives scripts that a teacher can use, but the idea is for the child to hear those words over and over and over and over. Here's another quote. I didn't put this in, but here's another quote. "Repetition is the mother of all learning." Repetition over and over. You ever read a book for a child and the child was like, "Oh, can we read it again?" Or the next night they want to hear the same story over and over and over. Don't get frustrated with that. And I know you might have a bunch of books on the shelf. If you have a bunch of books on the shelf, that's great. But if that child wants to hear that story, a couple of times, it's okay for you to read the same book every night of that week. If you do that, then the child develops that vocabulary in that book, that literary vocabulary, not just the conversational vocabulary, because it's different. There are things that's written in children's books that you're not going to speak about. You're not going to speak about at the dinner table. You're not going to speak about on the way home. So the language is different. So begin reading. Continue to read. Read more intentionally. Have fun. Have fun when you read to your child. Do the voice. Be the character. Be the book. Bring it to life. Bring the book to life for your child. Whatever book you're reading, bring it to life for them. Last week, we talked about that 30 million word gap. We talked about that as far as talking with your child. Well, the research that I found as far as reading with your child kind of brought that number down some. And it basically was saying it's not quite 30 million words. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thought 30 million was a huge number too. But hey, if you're going to shoot for something, shoot for it. Shoot for your child knowing them 30 million words. You know what I'm saying? But the research that I found for reading stated that a child who has been read to 5 times a day. Now, I know that's asking a bit much. But again, shoot for it. Shoot for it. If you miss it by one book, hey, guess what? You're still rocking. You are still on the move, even if you can only do 3 times a day. But I digress. The research stated that children who are being read to 5 times a day enter kindergarten knowing about 1.4 million words than that child who's only been read to maybe once a day. Now, I'm going to say this. I know you work. But Ivy, I work. I work all day. I get it. And when you work, your child is somewhere. Hopefully they're at an educational program where they are getting read to 5 times a day. I'm a teacher myself, and guess what? I don't read 5 times a day to my students. So this is to me. I'm going to take that to my classroom. Read maybe chapter 1 and then do a chapter 2. But read 5 times a day. Based on the calculations from this research that I found, it stated that children who have never been read to know about 4,600 words. They've never been read to, but by the time they get to kindergarten, they know about 4,600 words. Kids who have been read to 1 to 2 times a week, they enter kindergarten knowing about 63,500 words. Now, you see that gap? You see that huge jump from never being read to those who have been read to 1 to 2 times a week. Those same kids, well, different kids, but the kids who have been read to 3 to 5 times per week, guess how many words they know? They enter kindergarten knowing 169,500 words. You see the difference? Even if you're just reading once a week, if you read one book a week, 3 to 5 times a week, your child will enter kindergarten knowing about 169,500 words. This last one. If a child is read to daily, every day, 7 days a week, they enter school knowing 296,660 words. Y'all, this is the research. I'm not making this stuff up. This is research. 296,660 words. And get this now. Get this. 5 books a day. If a child reads or is read to 5 times a day, that is 35 times a week. If a child is read to by somebody, anybody, guess how many words they enter school knowing? Can you take a guess? Now, the last one was 296,000. 5 times a day. is 1,483,300 words. Can you fathom that? And what happens is that 5-year-old, most of us know they don't stop talking. They do not stop talking. When they come home, they are talking. When they are at school, they are talking. They know 1.4 million words. If you read 5 books a day. So here's what I want you to do, guys. I want you to try this, okay? Try this for me. Make reading a routine. Make it a routine. Schedule when you want it to be done. Schedule it. And don't skimp on it. Make it a predictable thing for that child. Hey, we're going to read every day at this time, whether it's bedtime, whether it's morning time, whether it's noon time. And again, I know you guys work. Then you can ask questions about the daycare or the pre-K program that they do go to. Read. Make it a routine, a consistent routine, a repetitive, consistent routine. Next thing I want you to do, don't just read the words. Use the pictures to tell the story. Use the pictures to tell your own story. Sometimes books, the bedtime stories can be too long. You can look at the book and you can look at the pictures and you can make up your own stories. And guess what? Ask your child to make up stories with you. Make up stories about those pictures that they're looking at. Last thing I want you guys to do, if you have not already, go to the local library, get a library card. Make going to the library a thing. Every Friday, every Tuesday, every Thursday. Make it a thing. Put it in your things to do with your child. Free. Free things to do with your child. Take them to the library. Check out books. I love going to the library. I love it. So get them a library card. Let them check out books. Well, guys, we have come to the part of the program where we do our question and answer. Our question and answer. At what age? At what age? What's up, guys? Welcome back to this edition of At What Age? Today's question is, Ivy, at what age should my child know the alphabet? Typically, by age 3, children should be able to recite the alphabet. By age 3. Now, every child is different. Some children know the alphabet in their late 2s. Some children don't learn until their late 3s. But by 3, typically, they should know the alphabet. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned next week for At What Age? That is the end of our show. Thank you guys so much for chiming in. I truly hope that something has been said that you can take away. I hope there was a takeaway for today. If there's something that you would like to have more information on, or would like to see me do or hear me do, or a topic that you would like to hear, please drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. Please put your comments below. Thank you so much. Our next episode will air on February 9th. On February the 9th. February 9th, we have an exciting episode. Episode 3 is Sing with Your Child. Make up songs. Make up songs. YouTube is chunked full of songs. You can make up your own songs. Make up songs about their name. Sing with them. But that's the next episode. That's going to be February the 9th. Thank you again so much for joining us. I appreciate every view, every share, every view, every subscription. Please subscribe. Love you guys. It's your girl Ivy here with the Dave and Ivy TV show, signing off with Man. How you go?